and welcome to another episode of Ljubljana Talks, recorded live at IBTM 2024 here in Barcelona. And with Goraz, we have another great guest for you, and Paula Blomster from Helsinki Expo and Convention Center. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. You see, I'm very used to these studio stuff.
Well, there you go. You come from a leading Finnish event venue. How do you see your positioning on the market, also internationally?
Well, we are the leading because we are the largest in our country. So we do a lot of events. We are an old institution, but we are also very fortunate to be very interesting for the international market. So Helsinki is still, like maybe Slovenia, new, interesting destination. People have heard about it, but haven't never been. Like my job is I look for the large medical international scientific conferences, and we, time to time, I don't say every time, but almost always hit the participation record, because Helsinki is a destination. You have heard about it, but have you been to Helsinki?
No.
So this is the case of like 99% of the population on this globe, but doesn't sound too scary either. So people love to come and explore, and usually they are really happy. They might have zero expectations, and then they come to a nice city and friendly people like you are.
Your name says that you are convention and exhibition center. So what is the ratio between exhibitions and the conventions or conferences?
I'm very impressed how much you did research before this. And we are, like Finland is a new country. We were just established 1917, and our company is established 2 years later. So we have a big, I would say, footprint at the local market. I said that we divide the business like fairs, which we organize with our partners. Those take 2/3, and 1/3 is then when we rent the venue for international and national events. So just today we host a very big startup event called Slush with 13,000 participants. Pre-COVID, they had direct flights from Silicon Valley, so great event to look at. I would really recommend it. It's run by students under 25.
Wow!
And that's a really, really great event. So we are 2/3 are like maybe for the local market, and then 1/3 international, and then B2B.
I learned that you have a lot of high-tech tools built into your building. I saw that you have the biggest LED screen in Scandinavia. Is this high-tech approach part of the strategy? Yeah. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. Yeah. We had, when I started at the venue 2016, we were starting with the augmented reality. So we had already like augmented reality built in our exhibition halls. But we were there maybe too early. So the market my clients were ready for that. But then also the technology advances so fast. So now we are more on this going big. But yes, I think it's important, the technology, but I think the people, we're in the people business. So our biggest asset is our staff. That's what I always say.
So if we would ask you high tech or high touch?
Oh, well, coming to this screen, it's high tech, not that advanced. If you touch it, it gets broken if you hit it too hard. So please don't do that.
So Helsinki, I think, has you have a very good position on the international market. You have good connectivity. I think you have an extremely good brand as such, and this is also supported by the result at the GDS index, for example, where Helsinki won this year with 89 of 100, which is a great
preparation.
And looking at the results of your convention center, looking at the results that you deliver as a city, as a destination, what is the secret behind it?
I think all destinations are great. I think you just have to go with your strength. What I usually tell everybody, Helsinki is very different. So we have the influence from East, and then we are the Nordic, but we are the weird Nordic, I always say. But language-wise, we are close to the Hungarian and Estonians, but I said the smart ones went south and the weird ones went up to the north. So, for example, for incentive markets, we have so many products that other destinations don't have, but that's just that we are a little weird, I would say. But Helsinki itself, I think the city had a target to be the most sustainable destination, and it takes a lot of paperwork. So, and you have to prove everything. So, I think for all the Nordic destinations, the sustainability is part of our lifetime, and then just get it organized. So somebody really worked a lot. But I wouldn't say, I think all destinations have something to deliver. Just find the soul of each destination and you'll have a great time anywhere. But Helsinki's secret is, I would say, we are different. Weird, I could say.
Very, very nice. But I also recognize some really creative things on your website. I checked that. For example, you are almost the only, I would say, convention center having a special page for influencers on the media side. So why you are focusing on influencers so much? Because it's an interesting approach. Yeah.
I think it started... we are quite quick taking. This is I've been at the venue since 2016, and this goes way beyond. We organized the largest travel fair in the Nordic countries. And of course, this is, I lived in Denmark and I could see many countries, the normal fairs have died out, but the Finns love the fairs. We just had a book fair with almost 100,000 visitors, which are figures you wouldn't have in a country with 5.5 million. But the travel organized a travel fair in our destination. I think there they just very early on found that this could be a way to promote the event, and then we have taken to all our own events, which I said they are 67% of our turnover is the events we really organize by ourselves, always with local partners. And competition is hard, but we have established that quite long time ago. So yes, they worked on that a long time.
We touched upon this a little bit, talking about the technology you use in the convention center. It is also connected, of course, with the mentality. But how do you see the use of other technologies, like AI, in your everyday work or during events?
Yeah, events. We were thinking, would we hire an AI expert? So it shows we have a female CEO, but she's an engineer. So anything that comes in engineering, we love. Maybe sometimes too much because we are on the people business. But we are just using Copilot ourselves. When we organize our own events, we have a big data, so we can easily organize like who is coming, who has. I don't even know what data they in the end look, but it has really helped, especially when we have these massive events where tens of thousands of people come. So you can study the data because we also sell the tickets mainly digitally. So we have gathered a lot of data in the past years, and now we have tools to help it. So it's more like, I think, for market segmentation. I'm not on that part of, but we are using it more like managing our clients. I think that's, and then somebody was planning, which personally I don't believe because I'm indifferent, but also like automatizing some of the activities. So there is a project for that. But the artificial intelligence is more like for the administration, not in the. I haven't seen anything or heard anything in the events itself. Have you heard something on the events, Eija?
There are programs or there are contents that would be focused perhaps on the visitor experience, for example. So there are, ideas how to create avatars per delegates, and then the program is actually created by AI per individual personality. So there is things out there.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to hear, because I think we are really on all I hear is the administrative. So this is what I wanted to hear from you. Yes,
no, there is the I think experience was kind of touched upon. Also, how to optimize the flow. There's a lot of these processes, especially we're now in an exhibition, right?
Yeah.
And we know that certain areas in the exhibition have a higher visitor rate than the others. If you're somewhere in the corner, less people are going to flow there. So there is ways how to use AI to create, or create obstacles or reroute certain activities to certain places to drive people to those places.
I think that's what we tried with our augmented reality, but that was like 2017, so there were QR codes that were hanging in the roofs. But I think the idea was great because then we were gamification or something, so the exhibitors were buying those and then so we were using that for the augmented reality, but with the AI we are, as I said, it's more back office stuff we are using it, but it's a great idea. I have to pass it to our team.
It's optimization, it depends where you feel the biggest need. Coming from the AI discussion and being here at IBTM today, and because you come from a convention center, how do you see the evolution of events such as this? And perhaps how do you see that evolution happen in your venue?
Maybe, what would I say? Well, I was a speaker yesterday, so my husband came here as a photographer. So we had a visitor who had no business here. I think the setup is the same since the Roman Empire kind of thing, but seems to work. I don't want to criticize everything, but the hosted buyer program, I don't know if that's up to date today. But I think that we are people and we love to meet, and I think this is what we work for. But maybe I didn't really understand the question.
Do you use hosted buyer programs at your venue for any of the activities? Would you have that?
Usually, very few. No.
Yeah, it's a very strange approach that I think is very specific to the meetings industry.
Yeah, and we have of course it's difficult. We use also platforms. We have had those in Finland for many, many years. So you can organize meetings, but then people might not show up. So this is like really by force in this event. But I'm not sure, because if you're forced to meet people you don't want to meet, it's everybody's waste of time. Yeah. So then this is something I will give feedback, because I've heard, it's a more friend of mine, but a good corporate client from USA. So they flow her in and she has to have 40 meetings and she cannot choose. And then on the top of those, she didn't get the ones she asked for. So on the top of those, she has to meet those that she can. And when the agendas are too full, maybe you're not letting the right people to meet. So I don't believe meetings that people don't want to have. Sometimes it's great to meet and it might be a good discussion, but if it's too tight and then with jet lag, I think that's like a torture.
That's
yeah.
You mentioned you focus a lot on medical events, right? So what are the events that you are kind of proud that you've brought in to your house or will host in the future?
I'm proud of everything, but now we're still a new destination. This might be normal in any destination, but we're going to host this May, June, 5 or 6 events, and they all over 5,000 participants. So it's a medical conferences. So, but some is like still result of COVID. And I hope this is not what they expect me to every week bring a 5,000 scientific conference, which is there are not that many in the market. But we are very happy for everyone, and yes, every client is important for us. But yes, these conferences, there is a really global competition. We calculate that they are 2,000 euros each person. So they bring millions to the destination city. So the competition is hard, and we don't have any financial rewards. Our center is private, so we are. So
it's private.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are like giving invoices where the others are giving money. So it's not the easiest position. So we are proud for every single one we get, and happy that they trust in us and bring the event to our venue. And for the scientific conferences, the very special is that it's actually their main income. So it's you really have to create trust. It's not like they will like to try a new destination, because that's most of the income of the year. So this is it's a lovely, actually very lovely business because you really get to know your clients because it's more about creating trust than anything else. And so far we are doing very well.
Well, listening to you and your positive approach and attitude, I have in mind a strange question. Is Nokia spirit still there in Finland?
Yeah, actually, I sometimes I think we should get the old leaders and throw some rotten tomatoes on them. But they left a lot of good things. They say one city we have at our Finland stand, Oulu, had a big Nokia center. And they have so many startups that they create more jobs than Nokia in the past did.
Amazing.
And I heard there was a Spanish ambassador who took some investors there, and the investors said that there's nothing less than in Silicon Valley, just money missed out. But the problem is we don't have money, not even in Europe. So there's like a lot of good ideas, and then they are sold right away if they can. So I don't know if you know the Aura ring, but that's I think now worth of 5 billion. And my friend started like promoting them. It was really small
amazing.
Company in
Amazing.
Oulu. Yeah. But then the money is somewhere else. So when it gets big.
Another question is about stereotypes.
Yes.
Is it true that you are more introverts? And how this influence on actually on events itself? You mentioned the book fair and some other events.
Yeah, it's surprising. Yeah, we have like an area. We are really lucky to host really good events annually. We have one. It's called Nordic Business Forum, where they bring Barack Obama has been at our venue, for example, thanks to them. But they have like a lot of networking areas. But then they know there are a lot of people who just get exhausted. So we have like the introvert area. So please don't speak to me area. So you can go like instead of those who, even though the idea of the event is to meet, but for some of them they come only for the content and they really don't want to meet anybody. So we have a special space for them.
That's very. We had a conversation about DEI, and I think this is exactly. You have to know your audience and what kind of services you need to offer to them. So, in your case, a big area where nobody talks to anybody.
That's Finland.
Well, because we are coming to the end of our time on Ljubljana Talks today. Thank you for a great conversation. There's usually a couple of short fire questions that we do.
Okay.
And you can answer them shortly or long, however you feel. The mountains or the sea?
I think for me it's the sea because I'm coming from a country without the mountains, so they're a little scary. I'm scared of them maybe, but I love them. If I in a safe company, I would go.
Day or night?
Well, I'm a day person because I love the summer in Finland. There is no night when there is summertime.
Beer or wine?
Water.
Water, very good.
Very smart. Well, Paula, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming to Ljubljana Talks, and thank you for being with us, and see you next time.